The Vanishing Signal. The storm raged on as Jonathan Keller gripped the wheel, his knuckles turning white. He was miles away from civilization, deep in the heart of the Blackwood Forest, chasing a signal that shouldn't exist, a distress beacon, broadcasting from a place that, according to every map, was nothing but empty wilderness. His SUV skidded on a muddy path as another bolt of lightning cracked across the sky, illuminating the towering pines for a brief second. Then, darkness swallowed the world again. The signal had appeared 3 nights ago, an old military frequency long abandoned, except someone or something was using it now, and the message was chillingly simple. Help me, it's coming. The last coordinates pointed to an abandoned research facility hidden deep within the woods. It had been wiped from existence decades ago, its records sealed, its purpose unknown. Jonathan exhaled sharply. This was no ordinary rescue mission, and if the stories were true, he wasn't the only one searching for whatever was out there. A shadow moved in the trees ahead. Then, the signal cut to static. Jonathan pulled the SUV to a stop, his headlights piercing through the thick rain. He reached for the radio transceiver sitting on the passenger seat, adjusting the dials, trying to regain the signal. Static. Nothing. He cursed under his breath and grabbed his flashlight and sidearm. The facility had to be close. Stepping out into the downpour, the wind howled through the trees, making them sway like restless giants. Jonathan moved cautiously, his boots sinking into wet earth as he followed a barely visible path leading deeper into the woods. Each step fell heavier, as if the forest itself resisted his presence. Then he saw it. A chain-link fence, nearly consumed by vines and rust, loomed in front of him. Beyond it, a cluster of dark buildings sat in eerie silence, their windows shattered, their walls scarred by time and neglect. The research facility. Jonathan scaled the fence, landing softly on the other side. The air here was thick with the scent of decay and something else, something metallic. Blood? His gut twisted at the thought. A low hum vibrated through the ground beneath him. He froze. It wasn't thunder. It was coming from inside the largest building. He moved toward it, his pulse quickening. The door was ajar, swinging slightly with the wind. He pushed it open and stepped inside. The facility was in ruins. Desks overturned, paper scattered across the floor, rusted machines blinking weakly as if clinging to life. But the strangest thing was a light, a pulsing red glow coming from deeper within the structure. He followed it down a corridor, past broken monitors and cracked tile floors. The glow led him to a steel door, partially open. Inside was a control room, filled with outdated equipment, and in the center, an old radio transmitter, the source of the distress signal. Jonathan's breath caught in his throat. Someone was sitting in the chair, back turned to him, motionless. He raised his weapon. Turn around. Now. The figure did not move. Jonathan stepped closer. I said, the chair spun suddenly. The man in it was pale, his eyes wide and lifeless, his mouth frozen in a silent scream. But it wasn't just fear that killed him. His chest had been ripped open, something unnatural clawing its way out. Jonathan staggered back, his heart hammering. Then he heard it, a low growl. Something moved in the darkness behind him. The storm outside roared louder, but inside, the real nightmare was just beginning. Jonathan's instincts screamed at him to run, but his years as an investigative journalist had taught him one thing. The truth was always worth the risk. He steadied his breath and turned his flashlight toward the source of the growl. The beam landed on a corridor filled with claw marks, deep and jagged, running along the walls. Blood, fresh and dark, was smeared across the floor, leading further into the depths of the facility. A sharp metallic clank echoed through the hallway. Someone or something was down there. He moved forward cautiously, gripping his gun tightly. Each step was slow, deliberate. He peered around a corner and spotted a door marked Level X, restricted access in peeling red paint. It had been forcibly pried open. Jonathan hesitated for a moment before stepping through. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of ozone and something far worse, rot. He gagged but pressed on, sweeping his light across the room. The chamber beyond was massive, lined with shattered glass tubes and broken containment units. Whatever had been held here, was gone, but scribbled across the walls in frantic, desperate handwriting were the words, "Do not wake it. Do not let it leave." Jonathan barely had time to process the warning before a sudden movement behind him made his blood run cold. A pair of glowing amber eyes stared at him from the darkness. Then, with a guttural snarl, it lunged. Gunshots echoed through the corridor as Jonathan dove aside, barely avoiding the creature's razor-sharp claws. His bullets hit, but the thing barely staggered. It was fast. Too fast. Jonathan scrambled to his feet and ran, heart pounding, weaving through the wreckage of the facility. He needed a plan, needed a way out. But as he turned a corner, he came face to face with something worse. A second creature. It was taller, leaner, its elongated limbs twitching with unnatural speed. And it wasn't alone. More shapes lurked in the shadows, watching. Jonathan clenched his jaw. He had walked into a trap. The facility hadn't been abandoned. It had been left as a tomb. And now, the monsters inside were waking up.